Matt here for Toolbox Talks. Today we're talking about the first man up and fall protection. The first person on the roof setting up a new job site is usually the foreman or a designated crew member. They will need to establish personal fall protection to direct the crane or forklift in moving the warning line or railing onto the roof so that your crew can get to work. Before we jump into anchor points, we need to review the difference between fall restraint and fall arrest. Fall restraint means that your shoulders cannot get past the leading edge of the roof, so there cannot be any slack at all in fall restraint. Think like a dog on a chain. You're held back from the leading edge so you cannot fall. In contrast, fall arrest catches you after you're already on the way down, much like an airbag and seatbelt deployed during a car accident. Don't forget about swing fall and what you might swing into when you fall. Manage your slack well. This is imperative. Keep it to a minimum as you're moving around and working so you do not become a wrecking ball. Now, the simplest way to set up fall protection is to land a fall protection cart on the roof first and get connected to it immediately. Connect one end of your lifeline to the dorsal ring of your fall protection harness between your shoulder blades. Do not connect to any other point on the harness. On the cart, there are only two places to attach the other end of your lifeline. These three rings are where you'll connect most of the time. 3 workers can be connected to the cart here, unless you're on a concrete deck, and then it's only 2 workers. Notice this work area sticker here indicates where you can work safely. Stay inside of this angle, or move the cart, which is much easier with 2 people. If you fall off of the roof while connected to these rings, this giant talon will stab into the roof and hold you in place. 2 workers can use these 2 rings for fall restraint only. Better yet, just don't use these unless you're absolutely sure that you cannot fall. These rings on the corners are where the crane connects to. Do not connect your lifeline here unless you want to be chased off the roof by a 1,200-pound cart. When you use the cart, make sure the cart is 15 to 20 feet away from the roof and parallel to the roof edge, like this. Again, connect your lifeline to this ring on the harness, not this one. The next best option is to use either an improvised or an engineered anchor point. Remember that any anchor point must be able to support 5,000 pounds, or about a pickup truck for each person. This eliminates using points like fluid carrying pipes of any size, electrical conduit, handrails, plumbing vents, or ductwork. If there are any existing anchors that are in good condition, we may be able to use them if they've been evaluated by a qualified person, and they may need to be certified by an engineer, a structural engineer. It's pretty rare that you'll have existing anchors that you can actually use, so you'll probably have to improvise your own anchor. Now, engineered anchor points are very picky about how they're installed. Make sure you're connecting them to the building per the manufacturer's instructions in the proper substrate, not just the metal decking. Remember, we can't assume that metal decking is strong enough. Make sure you're using enough screws, like this. Make sure your screws are into something solid, like a purlin, instead of just the decking. This anchor is still only good for 1 person. A crossarm strap can be wrapped around some structural steel like this, or a solid structural curb like this, not on this unit on skis. Run the small eye through the big eye and wrap the strap around as many times as you can, passing it through the big eye each time around, and then connect your lifeline. Also, this is an incompatible connection. Your lifeline cannot clip to itself. Seriously, it's not designed for that. Much like the crossarm strap, use a choke cable the same way. The choke cable is just more cut resistant. Again, connect your lifeline to the dorsal ring on the harness, not this ring. A self-retracting lifeline manages the slack for you and will stop like a seatbelt when you fall. Because it works well in fall arrest, fall distance is minimized. However, it's difficult to use in fall restraint. If you're using a rope for fall protection versus a self-retracting lifeline, you need to manage your slack. Keep in mind that the most important thing here when we're talking about low-slope roof applications is that ropes are for fall restraint only, and not fall arrest. If you're using a foot-level anchor point and you fall, you could be snapping your rope. Connect your lifeline to this ring on the harness, not this one. Thanks, and keep up the good work.